The best attack versus the best defense. The team with the most possession versus a cautious but clinical team. One imposed the game from the start, the other waits and hits at the end. The young Kvaratskhelia versus the experienced Di Maria. Fantasy, calcio. Top scorer Osimhen versus Milik, the ex who's looking for revenge. Aesthetic legacy versus winning culture. Everything opposes the Azzurri and the Bianconeri. Tonight, the world will watch the 153rd Serie A head-to-head between the two current leaders. Tonight, the world will hear the 54,726 fans in the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Tonight, the world will feel the tension between the Partenopei and the Old Lady. Matchday 18, Napoli 44 points, Juventus 37. The 21 men called up by Massimiliano Allegri need to change the recent history of that game, 3 away losses. The team based in Turin can change the destiny of the league, not -10, but -4. They need to try, they need to play, but most importantly, they need to win. Napoli-Juventus starts now. Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. If you were not pumped up yet, I hope you are now. And what we will do in that today's video, we'll try to understand how Napoli is playing, and let's try to understand how we have to win, because tonight we have to win. Gazzetta dello Sport is starting immediately with L'Oro d'Italia, the gold of Italy, showing Kvaratskhelia, the young, surprising player from Napoli, opposing the experienced World Cup winner Di Maria, showing the heart. They will start, they will show us calcio. Inside Gazzetta dello Sport, they are showing us that everything is opposing both of the teams. One team that is imposing and playing calcio, the other ones waiting, heading, being cautious but aware of what they can do. We see the history of Napoli-Juventus starting really far away. Maradona versus Platini. Corriere dello Sport is going with Vale Tutto. Everything is accepted, and they started yesterday with some mind games in press conference because the game doesn't start today at 8:45 p.m. Italian time. The game already started yesterday in press conference with Allegri saying that he was not a coach, putting all the pressure on Napoli, saying that the game is not crucial, the game is not decisive but important for them, while Luciano Spalletti, he didn't accept that. He said it is useless for Allegri to disguise himself with a hat and a fake beard, actually joking with Juventus. Today will be a big game. And how will both teams play? Well, Gazzetta dello Sport and Tuttosport, they go with the same lineups. 4-3-3, the usual one for Napoli, versus the 3-5-2, the one that is bringing solidity in defense but also bringing some points to Juventus. Meret, Marurui, Kim, Minjae and Rahmani with Di Lorenzo. 4-man defense for Napoli. Zielinski, Lobotka and Anghisa. 3 men in the midfield. Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen and Politano up front. Juventus is answering in the home of Napoli with Szczesny into the goal. Brazilian defense Danilo, Bremer and Alexandro. Baccani will continue to play wide on the right side, trying to block Kvaratskhelia. Fagioli, Locatelli, Rabiot and Kostic will form the midfield. Up front, Di Maria behind the X, the big X, the Polish Arkadiusz Milik. Same lineups for both teams, but how is Napoli playing? Well, we see it here. It's a slow team. It's a team that is having the most possession in Serie A. More than 60%. They are alone there. More and up than every other single team in Serie A. They hold the ball, they do a lot of passes because they need the moment to understand where to penetrate Juventus. On the side or centrally, they have a lot of options. They go slow, but with a lot of passes. Kvaratskhelia on that side of the field is maybe, after that injury, a bit decreasing in form, but he will be super dangerous. He wants to show that it was justified that Juventus was on him. He wants to show that maybe Juventus will have some regrets not buying the number 77 of Napoli. Napoli that is not only playing with a 4-man defense, actually it's a 2-man defense, because the wingers, the fullbacks on the left and on the right, they are playing super high on the field. Midfield that is actually only with 1 man helping them, the number 68. that is actually giving some help, support to Kim and to Rahmani. All the other ones are super offensive on the field. If you think that Lobotka is the one that is doing actually the most key passes in the game, he's only third. Who is the first one? Di Lorenzo. Yes, Di Lorenzo is the one that can put Juventus in difficulty on that side. How will Juventus play? What is the average position of Napoli, the one versus Inter, the big game that they lost? Well, they play all offensively, as you can see here on the map, and Juventus will have not only with McKennie to block Kvaratskhelia on that side, but also Fagioli will need to support, because Mario Rui, the one that should start over Oliveira, well, Fagioli will have to give some support defensively, but also being key because he will bring a bit more creativity without Paredes, because the choices has been said that Locatelli will play. The creativity, the link between him, Di Maria and Milik will be super important to not have the same problem we had versus Cremonese, isolating too much our number 14. We will need to find him, and that's why important it will be not one-to-ones in that game, but defending and supporting as a team defensively, but also being able to immediately go in counter-attack and try to hit Napoli when the moment is there. A man that can change the destiny of that game is Milik. Like Tuttosport is saying, Milik voglia di pipita. Milik, he wants to emulate what Gonzalo Pipita Higuain did years ago. That means every single time that he was playing versus Napoli, punishing them, scoring versus them. 6 goals in Bianconeri for Pipita Higuain, that we know it was whistled so hard in the stadium. Probably Milik will not be whistled that much. He will, but not that much. One that suffered really because he wanted to join Juventus years ago. A lot of time he was that close to join the Bianconeri. De Laurentiis said no. He even punished them for 5 months without playing a single game, putting him in the stands before going to Marseille. Marseille transition before joining his dream, the Bianconeri. A lot of Bianconeri were not happy with the signing of Arkadiusz Milik, the number 14, but he was able, thanks to the performance, thanks to his heart, but also thanks to his goal, to convince the Bianconeri that he was the man. The man that is at the moment the one that is replacing Dusan Vlahovic, that is not there. He will be in Torino training to be back versus Atalanta. Well, we count on Arkadiusz Milik today. We count on him, on Di Maria, but also on Federico Chiesa. The last time that he scored a goal, it was versus Napoli. We are speaking about more than 1 year ago. Can he enter and be decisive again? We are hoping in our number 7. We are hoping in all the guys that will enter in the second half, because we know it. Managing energy and punish them. Today, everything counts. Allegri versus Spalletti. Napoli versus Juve. But we are here to support our Bianconeri. I hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, maximum of like, subscribe to the channel. Grazie. And as always, and especially today, Forza Juve.